Okay. Good evening, you guys. Thank you for jumping on Team Living Healthy and Fit team call tonight. It is Wednesday, September 7th already, which I know I say that every week, but I just feel like this year has gone so stinking fast. It's ridiculous. So because we have our guest speaker, Cory Miller, this evening, I'm going to go ahead and do our recognition and our kudos next week. So that way Cory can go ahead and dive into her call and what she's going to share with us tonight. But first, I would like to introduce her to you all. If you don't know who Cory Miller is, you guys, she is one phenomenal person. Like, she helps host our local Super Saturdays here in Toledo and is just like this super vivacious person who, you are the best host for Super Saturdays because you just have so much energy and it's infectious. Like, we just really, really love you. And one of the girls on our team today said, I can't wait for Cory. She's the real deal. And you really are. Like, you're just a very genuine person. And we really enjoy your energy. We adore you. We all follow you on Facebook and social media so we can keep up with what you're doing. And we really appreciate you being here. So Cory is a mother of three. Her husband is Nick Miller. He's super awesome. I got to hang out with him. Karina and I got to hang out with him a little bit at Summit, which was really cool to get to know him a little bit better as well. And she is currently a 6-star diamond in her first business center, a 2-star in her second business center, and a 1-star in her third business center. So she has 3 open business centers. And I know we have a couple new girls on the call, and if you don't understand what that means, we will be learning about all that. But basically what that means is she's rocking her business and doing very, very well for herself. She's also been an elite coach 2 years, 2014 and 2015. I'm sorry, 2013, 2014. And she is a Success Club 5 All-Star legend for 57 months running. That's incredible. That means that she's been consistent for 57 months, helping at least 3 people every single month and moving her business forward and inspiring people to make changes in their lives. So she has a wealth of knowledge. She's been a coach for 8 years. Like I said, she's just has this infectious energy that I'm really excited for her to share with you guys tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and I can't wait to take lots of notes and hear what you're going to share with us tonight, Cory.
Well, I mean, what an awesome introduction. Thank you so much, Cory. And I love saying Cory because I don't know that many other Corys, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird, but I mean, it's cool that you say like all my ranks and accolades, but on all honesty, like you just saying that introduction and saying, you know, that I'm vivacious and energy, like that means so much more to me. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. But I'm excited to speak tonight. So thank you guys for having me. All right. So when we were talking about topics, and I'm very expressive with my hands, so sorry in advance. When we were talking about topics, you know, I asked Cory what she wanted me to speak on, and she said, how about give your top 5 tips on how to advance your business forward? And I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. It took me a long time, you guys, because there are so many things that I could say to you, and honestly, I kind of talk a lot, so I probably could be on this call forever, but I know that when I run team calls, I try to keep myself a half hour, you know, 35 minutes at the most. So I'm going to do my best. And if I start rambling on, be like, just do that. And I'll be like, all right, I'm going to cut it short. But to give 5 top tips after 8 years of being in the business is kind of tough. And, you know, just to give you a quick little background about myself, if if we've never met, or if you don't know me, or if I, don't know you, like Cory said, I've been a coach for 8 years. I actually got into this business back before Shakeology. So I don't know if there's any other long-term coaches here, but luckily, Janelle Summers is my coach, and she's a friend of mine. And I was a group fitness coordinator at a local gym here in Toledo, a local chain of gyms here. And she was one of the instructors. And she literally had called me up and said, hey, my sister's program, Turbo Jam. And I said, yeah. She goes, well, are you familiar with Beachbody? And I'm like, no. And the first thing I thought is, Beachbody, like, I'm so far from having a Beachbody. I've never had a Beachbody, like in my whole life. You know what I mean? I don't care how old I've been. I am not that poster child for a beach body. It's just not me. And she said, well, there's this coaching thing that's starting, and I think you should do it. And of course, I was like, no. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not even going to go through all my hesitations, because we all had those hesitations. You're totally validated if you have those hesitations. But no, obviously you know now that it's probably one of the best decisions you ever made. And if you don't know that, hopefully you do know that very soon through personal development and through visions and going, you know, and engaging in these type of team calls and national wake up calls and things like that. But needless to say, make a long story short, my background is actually in education. And I actually have my undergrad degree in communications and I have a master's in education. But when I started working in fitness and working in the gym atmosphere, I knew that I loved fitness and I loved working out, and I loved, you know, having people take my classes and coming up and saying that they are inspired by me and they wanted to keep coming back, or, you know, just getting that positive feedback. I knew I would love to make a career in fitness, but I can tell you guys the truth. It's hard to make a career in fitness being a personal trainer or group fitness instructor. It's a lot of hours. I mean, I literally, back in my 20s, I just turned 39, I'll be 40 next year. Back in my 20s, I could teach group fitness classes, you know, 20 classes a week, 25 classes a week from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. And it was fine. It was before I had a family, before I had kids. Well, that's hard on your body. You know, it's really hard. It's hard to maintain that. And you don't make a lot of money for the amount of time you put into it. So when Janelle came to me and, you know, presented the business opportunity, of course I was hesitant, but I trusted Janelle. And I was like, all right. And I remember literally getting off the phone with Janelle and going upstairs to my husband. This was before Janelle was even a coach. You have to understand that. This was like in May of 2008. And we didn't sign up till June of 2008. And we all signed up together, which is now Platinum Presenters. But needless to say, I remember going to my husband and saying, I will just be kicking myself later if I don't try this. You know, for $15 a month, what do I have to lose? And at the time, we didn't have a lot of extra money. I mean, I can tell you guys, when Shakeology first came out, I didn't even buy it right away because I didn't have the money to buy Shakeology. Actually, one of my customers, one of my clients that I was personal training, bought the Shakeology, gave me a sample. I tried it, hated it, because I took chocolate and I just stirred it in like skim milk and I drank it. I'm like, who in their right mind would ever drink this? This is disgusting. It's way too expensive. It sucks. You know, I'm never going to drink it. I actually drank Greenberry for a long time just because I was so turned off by the chocolate from that experience. And it's funny now because my son loves the Greenberry and I think he's the only one in the universe that loves the Greenberry. But regardless, you know, coaching has come a long way since I joined back 8 years ago. We have so many more resources, so many more tools. So this isn't even one of my tips, but I can tell you guys this. If you're a brand new coach or even if you're a veteran coach, use the tools that are out there. Use the tools. Engage, you guys. Get on the national wake-up calls. Get on Janelle's calls. Get on your team calls, you know, that Cory hosts. Get into the back office. Get on YouTube. Search. All of those tools are right there. When I first started, we had the Coach Online office, the previous office view. We didn't even have the Coach Online office like we have now. I'm very self-taught in this business, not because my upline isn't amazing. Obviously, my upline's amazing, but she didn't know either. You know, all we had was the policies and procedures manual, and I read that thing back and forth, and I'm like, I still don't get it. What the heck is a right leg? What the heck is a left leg? For the life of me, I couldn't grasp it, and so we learned together. You know, and that's what you have to do. You have to remember that. You have to be self-taught. You have to be self-driven. You're your own CEO in this business. So that's on top of my 5 tips. Sorry, I get off on tangents, but let me go ahead. I'm going to give you the 5 tips that I'm going to be talking about. I'm just going to give them all to you, all 5 of them first, and then I'm going to go through each one. Okay, so that's kind of the teacher in me, you know, kind of breaking it down for you. So number 1 is keep it simple. So number 1, keep it simple. And again, I'll go back through these. Number 2 is fail forward in pursuit of your vision. So fail forward in pursuit of your vision. Number 3 is consistency is key, but treasure your time. So consistency is key, but treasure your time. Number 4 is duplication. So just duplication. And then number 5 is no comparison game. So no comparison game. So let me kind of go through those. So let's go back to the first one. Number 1 is keep it simple. So this is what I see a lot in new coaches and even coaches that, you know, have been a coach for a while and decide to start working their business, whatever it may be, is they feel like right away they have to be in the same position that somebody's been in the business for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years is, okay? You don't need a blog. You don't need a website. You don't need a like page and a profile. Now, these are all just my opinions, just so you know. You don't need 20 pages to work from. You don't need to be on every single social media platform out there, all right? What you need to do is keep it simple. What you need to do is you need to be sharing and you need to be inviting. Obviously the 4 vital behaviors, right? So, add in personal development, of course, and recognition, but you need to be sharing, you need to be inviting. Keep it simple. I think sometimes what happens is, people see what other coaches are doing. You've heard that saying before, like you can't compare the start of your journey to someone's middle. And it's the same thing with coaching. It's the same thing with this business. Yes, I have a website. Yes, I have a blog. I also have an assistant, you guys, because I do this full time. I've been doing this for long enough that I am lucky enough to be a 6-figure, earner. I am lucky enough to have been able to retire my husband, Nick, and we work this business together. I mean, we raise our 3 kids together. It's amazing, okay? But I have the financial freedom to be able to have an assistant now. I didn't have that, even 4 years ago, I didn't have that, all right? So just know that don't compare your start with someone else's middle. So when I say share and invite, pick a platform to share on. This is if you're a newer coach, okay? I'm kind of speaking to newer coaches right now. Pick a platform to share on. Master it first. That's my biggest suggestion. I will tell you guys this, even 8 years ago, so obviously Instagram wasn't around. I didn't even have a Facebook page when I became a coach. And I joined after I was a coach. I became, joined Facebook after I was a coach. Like I said, I'm 39. It just wasn't as popular back when I was in college and stuff. We didn't have the social media platforms. I joined because other coaches were joining. So I joined Facebook. And then for the life of me, I never got Twitter. I'm like, I'm not that interesting. And that's kind of how I feel about Snapchat right now too. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just don't feel like I'm that interesting to snap a ton of pictures all the time. But needless to say, Janelle always tried to get me on Twitter. She sat down with me to show me Twitter, and I just didn't get it. And what I decided is I was spending so much time worrying about what other coaches were doing or what other people were doing, on Instagram and, other social media platforms that I didn't understand, that I'm like, why don't I just stick with what I'm good at? And that's Facebook. Why don't I just stick with, I didn't have a like page for the first 4 years of my business. For the first 4 years, I just created a like page 4 years ago. Now, would I suggest that to you? I give different suggestions to my coaches. I personally think, and if you watched Janelle's training today with Brittany Leggett, which was an awesome, awesome training, and she said exactly, she talks a lot about building on your profile page. And I completely agree with her. You already have the people that know you. It's hard. It's hard to start a like page. It's hard to run a like page and a profile page at the same time. Believe me, I do it now. And for a newer coach, or someone that's just starting to put themselves out on social media, it's extremely overwhelming to try to run more than one platform. So I definitely suggest pick a social media platform. I tell my newer coaches, wait 6 months to open a like page once you have it down, once you have your profile page going, but that's my personal opinion. So obviously you need to listen to your coach, but master a platform first. Don't get sucked in to everything, all the craziness out there. Like I mentioned before, but use the tools and trainings that are there for you. The FAQs really are amazing, you guys. And I say that to my coach, and I'm not trying to be condescending, but honestly, it will take you less time to go to the FAQs, put in your search term, find what you're looking for, rather than message, this is what I'm saying to my coaches, rather than message me. Half the time I'm looking it up too. All I'm doing is I'm going to the FAQs to look up your question and getting back to you. And half the time I don't get back to you right away because I'm, trying to treasure my time, which I'll talk about in a second. But you can find the answer. Do your best to find the answer first. Be self-motivated. Be a go-getter. That's what it takes to be successful in this business. That's exactly what it takes. And one of the biggest things, I am going to talk a little bit about social media in a second and how to share and some ideas of what to post and things like that. But, definitely make it personal. You can't just be sharing exactly what Brittany said this morning or, at noon today. She said, take ideas from other things, from Pinterest, from, Instagram, whatever it may be, but make it your own. People want to see you, and I want you to look back at like some of the posts that you're doing and the things that you're sharing. I guarantee the stuff that you're sharing that gets the most interaction and engagement is the stuff with you in it, the stuff that you've made personal. It's not a stock photo or a shared picture or a shared link. It's the stuff with you in it. So make it personal. Then invite. So obviously keep it simple, share, invite. You got to talk to people. You got to talk, you guys. And I can tell you this, if you're not talking to people, your business isn't going to go anywhere. Plain and simple. That's boom. If you're not adding to your network, if you're not meeting new people, and if you're not talking to them, inviting them, no, and you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Are you actually talking to them? Are you actually asking them? I will tell you, when I have stalls in my business, because it happens, I've been a coach for 8 years. It's a long time. My coaching business goes like this. Cory mentioned that, yeah, I'm a 2-time elite coach. I was not an elite coach for 2015. I didn't have enough momentum. I didn't have enough elite points. It was a goal of mine to hit that, and I didn't hit it. Does it stink to not hit a goal? Yeah. Did I have my little pity party for about a day? Yeah. But guess what? There's work to be done, and everything that you do today isn't going to come into play for 30, 60, 90 days down the road. So you have to be honest with yourself. What were you doing 30 days ago? Did you take some time off, with your kids? Did you whatever? So you can't get frustrated today when things aren't happening, when you're struggling to hit Success Club. Yes, I don't remember the number. Was it like 50 something months in Success Club? That's because Success Club to me is a non-negotiable. And I can tell you guys this, when Success Club first came out, I didn't even hit it. And I should have like 60 something or 70 something, but there was 1 month that I literally didn't have my own Shakeology Home Direct. It was so dumb. Like, I just wasn't paying attention because I didn't even realize how important Success Club was at the time. You know what I mean? And once I realized that it really is the driving force behind the momentum of my following month and the month after that and the month after that, then I was like, you know what? Hitting Success Club is a non-negotiable for me. And it just has to be. It has to be a non-negotiable for your business. But you have to change your mindset as far as inviting is concerned. Instead of thinking, well, I don't want this person to be turned off by me asking, change your mindset, you guys. This is a life-changing opportunity. Our products are life-changing. Shakeology is life-changing. The workouts are life-changing. You're doing them a disservice by not asking, okay? Change your mindset. And I know some of these things that I'm going to say tonight are not like earth-shattering, like you've never heard them before, but my hopes are that maybe I'm packaging it maybe a little bit differently, that it hits home, or you have maybe a little bit of an aha moment, because I know I listen to a lot of trainings and I can hear the same thing over and over sometimes, and maybe it's just that one thing that someone says in a different way that hits home. So change your mindset. You can change your life just by asking. And what happens if they say no? Oh, well, move on, because it may not be a good time for them. Ask again later. It just may not be a perfect opportunity. Think about your journey. Think about when you decided to become a coach or when you decided to get healthy. I guarantee it wasn't the very first time someone asked you, okay? It took something to click. So you cannot be afraid to invite. All right, moving on. Number 2, fail forward in pursuit of your vision. So you guys have probably heard that term, fail forward, before, but let's backtrack and talk about vision first. I completely believe that you have to have a vision for this business, and just know that sometimes your vision or your why is going to change. So when I first started this business, I had no clue. I mean, again, we were so green to the business. I didn't even realize the potential, okay? I had no idea. I thought I was doing it for the discount, which I'm sure a lot of coaches get into it like that. But like I said, we didn't even have Shakeology. We didn't even have residual income. I was doing crazy stuff. I mean, Janelle and I had a booth at a wedding, like, what are those, like extravaganza, you know what I mean? Like a bridal show, at a bridal show. We spent hundreds of dollars of money neither of us had at the time. And people would walk by our table and be like, I'm going to the cupcakes. I mean, they didn't have any. It was just such a waste of time and money. But guess what? We were out there doing something. We were trying to do something. And, I say this is such a corny little thing I say to my coaches, but you don't have to get all your ducks in a row to do something. Because if you wait too long for all your ducks to get in a row, one of them is going to waddle off. You have to just go out there and talk and meet people and share what you're doing. At minimum, share what you're doing. All right. So obviously with creating your vision, writing it down, what was kind of like my driving force behind wanting to do this full time is I saw other people being successful with it. I saw Mindy Wonder, who is one of Janelle's coaches. She would get on these weekly calls and be like, yes, Janelle would always say, okay, well, you need to invite, 3 people to the business opportunity, add 5 people to your network. And we would check in with weekly calls back then. Crazy. I mean, I can't imagine her trying to do that now. But, I'd get on there and be like, okay, my 3 people I asked were, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so. And so I added 5 people, and Mindy would get on and be like, okay, I asked 25 people about the coaching opportunity. I added 100 people. I'm like, what the heck? Who is this girl? She just amazed me. And then she was able to quit her job. So I'm not trying to contradict myself, because I know my 5th point is don't play the comparison game, but seeing her be successful was a little bit of a driving force, because I didn't have a clue. Back then, nobody was doing this full time. There was no full-time coaches back then. But when I saw her able to quit her full-time job and do this full time, I was like, whoa, this is actually possible. There's actually people out there that can do an at-home business full time. And she's real. And it's not just like, I don't know, to me, that was so crazy, but that was a kind of a driving force. Then, so obviously I wanted to quit my full-time job. Then my goal was to bring my husband home. We were able to do that a few years ago. Then we built a house. Now I want to be completely debt-free with a house, everything like that. And you constantly have different visions. But you have to remember what your vision is, and you have to revisit that vision. And sometimes your vision changes, you guys, and that's okay. I think sometimes, we write down our why in the beginning of the year, and we think, oh, well, that's my only why. No, life changes. It's okay to change your vision, but through personal development, through talking to your family, your spouse, or whatever it may be, know what your vision is and just constantly strive to get there by failing forward. Know that things that you do, it's okay that it's wrong. Do you know how many groups I've run that have been a complete fail? Gosh, I just ran one a couple months ago with my coaches that went over horribly. It was just it was dumb. It was not good at all. And that happens to me all the time. But all you can do is reevaluate and learn from it and move on. That's what a good leader does. And we're all leaders. We're all CEOs of our own business. You just have to be willing to look back and figure out what works and doesn't work, and continue to fail forward in alignment to your vision and your goals. All right? So that's number 2. Just do something. That's the biggest thing I can say on that one. Just do something. Sorry, I have all my notes here. Okay, so number 3 is consistency is key, but treasure your time. So I'll explain what I mean by that. This business definitely is, and obviously if you've read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, you know that it's just like fitness. It's just like weight loss. You can't take a week and be like, okay, I'm only going to work out for 6 hours on Saturday, and then I'm going to eat a salad on Sunday, and then I'm going to be good. I'm going to lose 5 pounds a week. I mean, it's just not like that. It's the same thing with your business. If you're not doing the 7 daily tasks, and I'll list those in a second, the 7 daily tasks each and every day, then your business is going to fail, okay? Because you are going to have so many of those peaks. Remember, again, what you do today is going to come into play 30, 60, 90 days down the road. So if you have one day that you kind of take off, that turns into 2 days and 3 days and 4 days. You guys know, I mean, how many times have you started a program? And then, at least I have, I mean, I'm very honest about that. I started a program and then like a couple days into it, or, started a new nutrition plan a couple days, whatever it may be. You're not alone, but you have to be consistent with your business. And the 7 daily tasks, I'm sure you've probably heard these before, but I'll list them for you really quick. Number 1 is, of course, you have to work out, get your workout in each day. Number 2 is you have to drink your Shakeology. Number 3 is your personal development. So obviously just, the 4 vital behaviors pretty much in there. And then on top of that, number 4 is adding at least 2 to 3 new people to your network. So making sure that you're meeting people, whether that be through social media, whether that's in person, whatever it may be. If you're at a point, obviously I'm at a point in my business, so many years into it, that I am a little bit more into attraction marketing, where I do run ads and things like that, where people are coming to me versus me just seeking people out. But when you're a new coach, you are going to spend a lot of time seeking people out and finding them and adding to your network. But that was number 4, adding 2 to 3 people to your network daily. Number 5 is just talking and helping at least 2 people a day with their fitness or nutrition. So just talking to them about it. It doesn't mean making a sale. It means just talking to them about it. So at least 2 people per day. Number 6 is you got to have quality content out there on social media. Quality, not just oh, I'm going to take a quick selfie and just post that. Or I'm eating Chipotle right now. Or you know what I mean? Whatever it may be. And honestly, these are things I just saw right before I got on the call. Quality content 2 to 3 times per day on social media. And I'm going to give you a couple ideas on what you can post on social media based off of training that Chalene Johnson did. Okay. So I'm going to list 12 things that you can post about. But I will say this, if you're not doing your personal development, I'm going to backtrack, rewind. If you feel like you don't have anything to post about, chances are you're not doing your personal development, you're not getting your workouts in, and you're not drinking your Shakeology, all right? Because those things right there are things that you can post about. Not that it should be every post. Only one post a day should be, kind of like a in-your-face type thing about fitness or nutrition. Everything else should be about your lifestyle, and you, and sharing you and things like that, sharing your life. But that was number 6, quality content. And then number 7, of course, is tracking what you're doing, whatever system you use. I personally use Teamzy, whatever works for you, but you have to write it down. You have to track it. So when I talk about treasuring your time means, in being in this business for 8 years, I've had a lot of burnouts, you guys. I mean, actually, I'll be completely honest. In the beginning of this year, I was completely burnt out after not hitting elite, after trying to plan Super Saturdays and things like that. It does take a lot out of you, and I sometimes sit down and I remember, listen, the reason I want to do this full time, the reason I did want to retire my husband is so my kids and my family came first always. And I'm never willing to let that go. I'm never willing to compromise that, because that's the whole reason I am my own boss. If I wanted to be dictated by someone else, I would go work for someone else. So I will be completely honest with you. I didn't go to the last Super Saturday because it didn't work for my schedule. And I'm not condoning, doing this. I really do feel that Super Saturdays are important and things like that, but it didn't work with my family schedule. That was the biggest thing. There's been times I couldn't get on, do some of the things that corporate asked me to do because it conflicted with my family schedule and things like that. So I treasure my time. And you may have heard Meg Wazinski talk about, doing massive action in some of how she organizes her week. Now, I'm not quite as organized as she is, but I feel like I do the massive action. I'm just not quite as like Sundays I do this, things like that. I definitely commend her for how organized she is. But what I definitely recommend is planning ahead, having a game plan. It's just like pre-planning or prepping your food to be successful for the week, right? You have to pre-plan what you're doing as far as your business is concerned too. You have to plan out your business hours, whether that's a half hour one day, just to return a couple messages and know that you're going to plan your posts. Whether that's 3 hours on Sunday with your massive action where you're actually planning all your posts for the week. You're going to save them in the notes section of your phone. So when you're on lunch break, you can just copy and paste and post it really quick. That's what you need to do. But treasure your time, but organize and make this a priority. If you don't make your business a priority and if you don't organize your time as so, then number one, you're going to feel like you're always working. And I've gotten into that position too, where I'm constantly on my phone and my kids will be like, Mom, are you on your phone again? And then I have to step back and be like, yeah, I am on my phone right now. And that means that I'm not planning ahead enough. And I need to take that time because it's not fair to them. But what I wanted to do real quick is kind of, that's one of the biggest questions I get all the time is, I don't know what to post about. So let me really quick, I know because what time is it? Okay, I'm doing okay. I have maybe like 5 more minutes. Am I good? Okay. All right. So let me go through the 12 things that Chalene had done on one of the trainings I was on, which was very, very helpful, I thought. These are 12 things that you can post about. All right. Number 1, some type of resource or tool. So an example that I can give is I go spray tanning, which I really need a spray tan right now. I'm kind of pale, but don't look at that. But if I were to say, I love this spray tanning place, I found this awesome solution, some type of resource tool that you're sharing that works for you. That's number 1. Number 2, something that's entertaining or funny. Make it personal about yourself, but entertaining or funny. Number 3, something on a pedestal. So a pedestal post, meaning that could be a shout out for one of your coaches, that can be a shout out for one of your challengers, or, not even rank advancements or weight loss, just something nice about something or somebody. That's a pedestal post. Number 4, a question or a poll. So a question or a poll, P-O-L-L. ask an opinion of someone, have a couple of different pictures of a new Nike shoe, 2 pictures. Which one would you choose, A or B? Something like that. People love to give their opinions, even if you don't want to hear it. They love to give their opinions, but that's number 4. Number 5 is, I can't even read my own writing. Oh, an upswing post. So remember, and Brittany, I love how she said this on the call today too. She goes, when you became a business owner, you lost the right to complain on social media. I loved when she said that. You lost the right to complain. Now, you can be real. There's a difference between complaining and being real. You can be real. You can be open and honest, but it should always come around to some type of positive or some type of lesson. All right. So that's an upswing post. Number 6 is how to save time or money. So, it's okay to post specials. Like if Beachbody is running a special, obviously we have awesome specials that go on, just not all the time. And, you can also preempt it by saying something like, now I know I don't always post about this. This isn't something I always post about, but say that. Or I like to post about things like I actually just posted this past weekend about the hippie runner headbands. They were buy one, get one free this weekend. And I love wearing those to work out. No, I'm not affiliated with them, but that's going to save someone money. And I like saving money. All right. So that's the save money, time or money post. Number 7 is an FAQ. So I do this one too, where I will say something like, I've gotten a lot of questions about this, so let me share how I do this, how I prep my meals on Sundays, how I, modify a push-up or whatever it may be. Do some type of FAQ, and it's okay if you haven't gotten a lot of questions. They don't know that, make something up. If that's going to be a good informational post, that's a great way to preempt it. Because you know what it makes it seem like? It makes it seem like a lot of people are coming to you, and that's a good thing because people are going to be like, ooh, I want to go to her or him too, right? Number 8 is some type of motivational. So what's going to be motivational? Make it personal. Connect, what's going to connect with someone. Number 9 is a how-to system. For example, now this is not my strong suit, but like how to pack for a trip in only a small carry-on bag. Yeah, that would never happen for me. But that's an example of a how-to, all right? Number 10 is a gratitude post. So like on Sunday, sometimes I like to do gratitude posts, what I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for. Number 11 is this is who I am. So being a little transparent. Now Snapchat is a great way to be more transparent. This is who I am with kind of a behind the scenes type. That's what people are looking for in Snapchat. They're looking for a behind the scenes type look of who you are. So maybe a blooper reel where you're doing a video and you messed up and, something like that. And then the 12th one is your invitations, your invites. So obviously your invites aren't going to be every single day. If you've ever read the book, Jab, 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 I always say jab, 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 right hook. All right. Love that book. But you have to know that it doesn't always have to be a direct invite too. So those are the 12 things that Shalene suggested. So let me move on because that was consistency is key, but treasure your time. The whole reason I want to tell you that is because if, say on a Sunday, what I will do a lot of times is I will plan out what I'm going to be posting for the week. Like if I know what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, well, I know that I'm going to be volunteering at my kids' walkathon on Friday. So I know that's going to be a good post for the noon hour. And in the morning, I'm going to do a motivational post. And then, at nighttime, I don't do a lot of posts. It's more family oriented or something like that. That's what I'm going to do. But plan out your week, have that pre-plan so you're not spending so much time trying to figure out what the heck you're doing that day. All right. That's my biggest suggestion. Okay. Number 4, and these ones will go quick. To grow a team, you must have duplicatable systems, plain and simple. So whatever works for you. And if you're a newer coach and you don't have the resources quite yet to create all these new member trainings, use the resources available to you. You don't have to recreate the wheel, you guys. All you have to do is pass along the information. And I think a lot of times that's where the communication breakdown happens, is when a coach, will sponsor a new coach and they think, I don't even know what I'm doing myself yet. So they break down and don't know how to sponsor their new coach. When in fact, you have the resources available to you. All you have to be willing to do is pass them along and make sure that what you're doing is duplicatable. Because remember, that's exactly what this business is. I know when I first started, Craig Holliday was a consultant with Beachbody, and he had said, and he's a big network marketer, if you don't know who he is, but he had said at one point that kind of hit home with me, listen, this really isn't a business of selling. It really is a business of sharing. Because if you think of it like this, if you yourself love Shakeology and you're on Shakeology every month, you have 10 people that love Shakeology and are on Shakeology every month. They each have 10 people. They each have 10 people. There's no sales involved there, but everybody is just loving the product and they're sharing what they're doing with other people. So they're loving the product. That's what this business is about. It's duplicatable. You have to have a duplicatable system. So that's number 4. And my last one that I feel extremely strongly about is stop playing the comparison game. So of course, I mentioned Mindy Wonder, how I was like motivated by her because I didn't even realize that, coaching full-time was a possibility. But at the same time, I really recommend this to you. Of course, there's times when I get down and I'm like, I've been in this business for 8 years, and yes, I'm only a 6-star diamond coach or whatever, the rank is. But what you have to remember is that there's a big, big difference between rank and recognition versus what your goals may be. And don't lose sight of your goals. I will tell you personally that my goals are to support my family. That was a huge goal of mine, to have my husband home. Because I'm not going to lie, you guys, it's pretty awesome being able to raise our 3 kids together. It's pretty awesome to be able, my husband does volunteer work when he wants, to go do volunteer work for the trade that he was in. It's pretty awesome to have those choices. Are we perfect? No, by any means. But that was huge for me. So no, I may not have the rank there, but the way I built my business and having multiple business centers and opening multiple business centers and growing, my husband is a diamond coach too, growing his business center, our financial stability was there. So, I may not be on stage, a lot, or that name in lights, but I'm okay with that because I know that just because I'm not an X-star diamond, and believe me, I'm not taking away from any of those people by any means, but just know that that doesn't equal income, okay? So if income is one of your goals, then it's not necessarily exactly what your title is. It's what you're trying to go for. So remember that. Stop getting into the newsfeed. Stop looking at what everybody else is posting and think that you have to be just like them, because people are going to see right through that. Don't copy other people's posts. That's one of my biggest pet peeves too. When I see someone that copy and paste like one of my posts, and they literally have like my smiley faces and my dots that I use, and they're so dumb. I don't know why I do it, but it's just, that's how I talk, because obviously I'm very expressive. And I'm thinking that's not even in their voice. You know what I mean? It's okay to get ideas. It's okay to get inspired by other people, but you have to be yourself. People are going to see through you when you're not yourself. So be yourself. That's, it's so much easier when you are yourself. It's so much easier than comparing yourself to someone else. And again, align your actions to your goals. If your goal is not to retire your husband, or this isn't an income goal for you, that's okay. You don't have to have the same goals as me. Just know that by comparing yourself to someone else, it's not going to make it any better. All right. And just realize that ranking recognition is totally different than other stuff. So will elite always be one of my goals? Absolutely. Because I believe that the process of trying to get there is the most important thing. Of course I want to hit it, because I know that the reasons behind hitting it mean that I'm sponsoring new coaches, that they're hitting Success Club, that I'm growing in volume. That process is what's going to get me to my ultimate goal. Okay. So if I can get the title in the process, that's great too. But just know that stop comparing yourself to other people. Reach for your own goals. That's the biggest thing. So that's all I have. Okay.
That was awesome.
I hope I wasn't too all over the place, because sometimes I can get like that. No,
not at all. I seriously have almost 2 full pages of notes. That was awesome. And I love the last one. Jessica Hill did a call with us not that long ago, and she phrased it as climb your own mountain. And that just really stuck with me, because it's so true. It's not about, yes, it's awesome to reach your rank advancements and to excel, but it's not all that. It's whatever your mountain is. And if it's financial freedom, then you have to be smart about your strategy in building your volume and your income versus your rank advancement and your rank.
Absolutely. And I know that the 15-star diamond bonus is very enticing. And, that's a lot of money to get a 15-star diamond bonus, a quarterly bonus like that. But if you break it down over the course of a quarter, which is, 12 weeks or something like that, and divide that out, that amount, which is about $40,000, if you guys didn't know, about $40,000, divide that by 12 weeks, You honestly can be making more weekly by not concentrating on just hitting like a diamond and getting like duct tape diamonds, I call them, that aren't like true business builders. And instead building a solid business with business builders and with volume that's going to increase your income too. So that's a whole nother topic. I shouldn't even have like gone into it. Sorry. But just know that that title isn't everything.
We just have to know what your goal is so that you can focus on that. Like if some people rank advancement and recognition is what's important. And if that's what's important, then go for it. But if being financially free and debt free and being able to support your family or whatever your goal is, then you have to climb that mountain and you have to focus on that.
Yeah. I love that saying. That's good. Climb your own mountain. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do any of you girls have any questions? There's so much good stuff there. You don't have any?
Don't you feel like such a teacher? When I do my like calls or whatever I do, and I even had a diamond call last night with my diamond coaches. They're all like, I'm like, you guys can talk.
Yes. Here.
Yes.
No, there was something else I was going to, so you were talking about time and like your time is precious and making sure that you have a plan. So what is something that you encourage or tell newer coaches or even veteran coaches who are struggling with time management and who really want this to be their priority, but maybe things in life are coming up and it's drawing their attention away from that? What is something that you tell them to help them kind of refocus or to make sure that their focus stays on making this a priority?
Well, I go back to the fact that you have to do this on daily tasks, and you just have to make that a priority. Now, some days are more than others. Some days, I only spend a half hour on this business. I'm not going to lie. Sundays I try to take for my family, and it may only be like I'm posting a couple times throughout the day, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not even returning messages. I used to be that horrible, like perpetual, I had my phone in my hand. The minute someone messaged me, I was trying to message them back because I thought, oh my gosh, I got to get back to them right away, and I really started to break it down and be like, no, I can't do that all the time. But what I tell them is, again, you have to align your goals to your actions to your goals. And, I'll be quite honest with you guys. Before I quit and did this full time, I sacrificed a lot, and I didn't sacrifice the time with my family because I just couldn't. I joined when my daughter, who's now 8, was 6 weeks old. And since then I have an almost 5-year-old too. And I have my other son is 10, and it would be around their schedules. So that required me to, I was working full time. I would do stuff on my lunch break. I would do like barely anything when I got home, to tell you the truth. I would wait till I put them to bed. Then I would do stuff. Then I'd also get up early and do stuff. So I did sacrifice sleep and I did sacrifice TV, but I never sacrificed the time with them when they were that little. That wasn't worth it to me. So, what I guess the advice that I would give is that you just have to know your priorities and know that, of course, whatever, if there's something else in your life, that happens, of course, that takes priority, but keep doing a little bit each day. It's just like fitness. It's just like weight loss. You have to just do that little bit each day and maybe think of the things that you can sacrifice. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video by Scotty Hobbs. He does a great video on YouTube. Just, if you just like search Scotty Hobbs sacrifice, he has a great video on what he sacrificed. But just remember that short period of sacrifice is going to pay off so much later, and I have family members that don't get what I do. I have honestly, my in-laws, I don't think they even understand what I do or why my husband doesn't work. They never asked, but I feel like sometimes they may get down on me or whatever, but they don't realize the sacrifice I put into it. They don't realize what I sacrificed back then. So it's okay. I don't care. I don't care what they do. But I would just recommend sticking to the basics, keeping it simple, and just talking to people. Even if you have stuff going on in your life, you can still talk to people for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have anything? I have one more if nobody else has any questions. Okay, so I always ask this because I'm always curious. What is your favorite personal development?
That's hard to say. Because I think in my opinion, personal development really depends on what you have going on in your life, and it's going to connect with you the best as to what you have going on in your life. I highly, highly recommend GoPro and, jab, right hook. I think I always add a jab in there. I don't know why, but those are some of my favorite as far as
jab, right hook. I think.
Those are some of my favorites as far as the business is concerned. Most recently, like the one I'm reading right now is right here. One of my diamond coaches, I had like a little diamond event, and she just got me this. So this is what I've been reading. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's just like it has like little scriptures. And I will tell you guys, I'm not super, super duper religious. I'm Catholic, but I don't want to say lost my faith, because that's not the truth, but I needed something more in my life, and she got that for me, and that's been really a great thing for me to wake up and read every morning. They're very short passages, and it's just kind of cool to read the scripture like that. So that's one of the best personal books I've read. Trying to think what else. There's nothing else that is like sticking out to me right now, because honestly, I tend to read more towards the business stuff when I actually do. Or I don't want to say when I actually do, when I am reading stuff like that.
Okay. So many, like over the years, you read so many. I just didn't know if you had like.
I don't know if you can see like my whole bookcase. There's like all those books, like all of those are books I read, and then I have everything on my Kindle now. I've read a lot from like Joel Osteen. I like a lot of his The Power of I Am. I like Coy Cooper. He did a book with impressions, and he's someone that's worked like one-on-one with our group. That was a great book to read. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I'm not good at remembering.
We actually did a few of the girls that are on. We did with Coit too after Saturday. Yeah, we did a group with him. What is the name of the faith-based one again? I'm sorry, I missed the title. Jesus is Calling.
It's by Sarah Young. It's Jesus Calling. Enjoying peace in his presence. And the thing, like I said, I like about it is that, like, I don't know if you guys can see. Here, I put this out there. Like very short path like this. You know what I mean? That's like one of them. That's it. So it's just, to me, that's so much more manageable, because I get overwhelmed sometimes, because that's what when I first wake up in the morning, this is the first thing I do, is I read for only about 10, 15 minutes, and then I do stuff before my kids even get up. So that whole impressions with Coit and stuff like that, like early rise, Miracle Morning was another big one for me. That really changed my mindset in getting up early. And yes, there's an app too. I've heard that. I have heard that there's an app. One of my coaches was saying that too, and she recommended I check that out. So thank you for mentioning that. I haven't checked it out, but I should. But Miracle Morning was another great one. That really changed my way of thinking. And don't get me wrong, it took me everything in my power to get up early, because guess what? I felt for a while like I earned the right to sleep in. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to sleep in. I don't have to go anywhere if I don't have to. But forcing myself to get up an hour earlier than my kids has been huge for me. So huge for me, just to get in the right mindset, and get ready for the day. So I'm not feeling so behind before I even get my kids up. So I definitely recommend Miracle Morning. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Hale Elrod is the author. I haven't read the one for network marketers, though. I will say that. I haven't read that one. He has Miracle Morning for network marketers, too.
Oh, okay. I didn't read that one. I listened to the audio of Miracle Morning, and that was phenomenal. I actually need to listen to it again, because I've been struggling getting up again in the mornings. So.
Well, it's now that the kids are back in school, like it's kind of like snooze for a second, snooze, like my hour is turning into 45 minutes, and then I have some days, and yeah, I get it.
Oh, the waves of life.
Crazy.
Can't be perfect all the time.
That's right.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us. I love your energy. Like I said in the beginning, it's so nice, and it's a breath of fresh air, and you shared a lot of really useful things. I love the 12 things to post about because it's different. Like they're different takes on things.
For
and
sure.
I know the girls are always looking to, you know, you're always looking to kind of revamp and see what works a little bit better. So I'm excited to share that with the rest of the team as well.
I know some of the stuff I mentioned literally could be a whole call. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to like touch on everything. So Ashley Shalene, she had presented that at Platinum Presenters at Platinum Edge a couple years ago. And I still use that quite a bit, that list. And I'll go back to it quite a bit.
That's cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And we'll let you get back to your evening. We greatly appreciate it.
Awesome.
If anybody's staying on for the mentoring call, you can just stay on and we'll get started here in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cory.
Bye.
Bye.